So a lot of things have happened over the week, and let's start by talking about the two consoles and then some other news, and I will end this video with a special rant. Hey, what is happening guys? This is Orca from Orca's Gaming Corner and welcome to another week of gaming news. Our first story today relates to a video by Digital Foundry where they go in detail about how good the implementation of ray tracing is on Spider-Man's Miles Morales. They even go as far as to say that it is one of the best implementations that they have ever seen on a console. Now, I emphasize the word console because we have already witnessed great implementation of ray tracing technology on the PC gaming side of things, with Control leading the charge. And of course, all of the PC ray traced games are at the moment powered by NVIDIA RTX cards. But I also believe that AMD will follow suit with their new 6000 series cards. We'll talk about that a bit later in some other episode. A few things to note here. On Spider-Man Miles Morales, I am definitely sure that ray tracing versions play at 4K 30fps and not 60fps, but I guess that is fine because they got a $500 box to do ray tracing, and that is great for gaming. Now, on the Xbox side of things, I have actually not seen any ray tracing demos. It's like so many news outlets showed off all the loading time speeds and how the Xbox Series X brings about an improvement in most old games. But I did not notice even one outlet speaking about ray tracing through Xbox Series X, and I'm sure there is a particular reason. I think this is probably because they do not have many titles with ray tracing, or even if they do, they are not ready for a demo. I know for a fact that Gears 5 will have ray tracing on Series X, but I have not seen a legitimate video of that. And yes, we all have seen Minecraft with ray tracing, but how many of us are buying the Series X to play Minecraft? Not many, I guess. But all that aside, we will soon get to see ray traced titles like Watch Dogs Legion, which is releasing on the 30th of this month. So we will see that on both the consoles and the PC. And then it'll be clear whether the consoles are good at ray tracing, or at least they are comparable to the PC or not. I certainly feel that the consoles will actually perform quite identically. And on that note, let's segue into this story where the developer from Dirt 5 thinks that there is almost no difference development wise between the Series X and the PS5. In other words, 10.28 teraflops PS5 will almost perform identically to the 12 teraflop Series X. He says that at the most it may mean a bit more optimization on one of the platforms. That is all. And also taking into consideration that the Series S has to be taken into account, I personally don't think it will make a great difference. Now, I believe that it will be difficult for the Xbox Series X to harness its full potential because of the Series S and especially the Xbox One, and a lot of people would have you think otherwise, but that is the truth because we have a lot of evidence of that. For instance, the Halo debacle. Halo Infinite. Then Digital Foundry also pointed out that the weaker console will hold back the Xbox Series X, especially for the cross-gen titles. Now, Microsoft will support the Xbox One X and the Xbox One till the end of 2022. So only from 2023 will we actually see the real might of the Series X. So that's a long way away. I feel for now Series X will be a bit faster than the PS5, but not by much to actually notice any difference in real world scenarios. Now, in other news, Ubisoft will allow for cross saves on all upcoming games. So if you play the game on PC, say Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and you happen to own a copy on the PS5 or the Series X or One X or the PS4 Pro, you will be able to effortlessly continue your story from where you left, irrespective of what hardware you play on. And I'm sure that also translates to game streaming solutions like GeForce Now, Xbox xCloud, Amazon Luna, and Google Stadia. Speaking of Google Stadia, one of the creative directors, Alex Hutchinson at Google Stadia, seems to have a rather stupid take on streaming, this is what he had to say. Streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they use music that they didn't pay for should be worried by the fact that they are streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. And then in the next post he says, the real truth is the streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content they use. This, I think, in 2020 is a really stupid take on streaming. Here is my take on the whole thing. I feel that video game content creators, streamers, game developers, publishers, and gamers are all in a symbiotic relationship. Game developers and publishers make games. Content creators make content about them and promote them directly or indirectly, and the gamers get to know more about the games they want to buy and also receive a bit of entertainment. So developers and publishers get free publicity via content creators, and content creators make a little bit of money, and gamers get some valuable advice on their next purchase and free content. So basically everybody wins, which is really a good thing that is going on at the moment. Now what Alex is saying I don't think is necessarily true, because video games are a transformative experience and it changes as per the player playing the game. It's not like a movie that remains the same no matter who is streaming it. So yes, streaming a movie on YouTube or Vimeo is basically piracy, and that is not the same for game streaming. For instance, even if two streamers are streaming the same game, the content may be completely different. So there is a huge difference where the player is actually giving life to the game that these developers make. Example, I like to watch Dr. Disrespect stream, not because of the games he plays, it's because of Dr. Disrespect himself and his stream setup. And also I'm sure there are no games out there that play by themselves. So I think Alex here had not thought it through before he put out his opinion, and so received tremendous backlash from the gaming crowd. So guys, think before you speak, especially on a hotly debated topic and especially when you're on a social media platform. I seriously think this is a stupid take, because taking that analogy, it would not be good enough if I bought the canvas and the paints and the paintbrush to paint. I'd have to buy the license to paint also, and maybe buy another license to sell my own painting because the previous one did not include the clause of public distribution. What the hell? He's a game director for Google, for God's sakes, one of the richest companies in the world, and now he's complaining about needing more money. That is all that I see from this post. And that was my small rant. I know it is not an outrageous or an outlandish kind of rant, but I surely felt the need to talk about it. So that's it from my end for this week. I'll see you next week with some more gaming news. Like, share and subscribe to my channel, Orca's Gaming Corner. See you next time.